Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to my garden on a little bit of an overcast day, but honestly I don't mind because overcast day always means that filming is super easy for me because I can take you wherever I wanted to in the garden, and on top of it all the colors look really nice because it's just this like soft light. Look, all the Nepeta is in bloom. Isn't that just a wonderful spectacle at this time of the year? I just love Nepeta. It's a great plant for the front of a border. What I want to do today is something that wasn't really on my priority list, but I think it is definitely well needed. So for those of you who follow my channel already for quite a while, you know that towards the rear end of the garden there is a slope that I developed into these or built these terraces. So on the right side there is my new vegetable garden. On the left side, which is actually the biggest side, this is where I kind of have my experimental cut flower garden area, and right in the middle of it there is a bench, and I love to sit on that bench for multiple reasons because that side of the garden is west facing. So once I'm done with my videos of the day or just like doing some weeding in the garden, whatever I do, it's just lovely to sit there, especially in the late afternoon because it is west facing. So you really get to enjoy the full sun. You have a beautiful view over this entire farmland because at the end of the garden, the entire garden just opens up into the landscape and it's just a magical sight. And I thought, you know what? Everything kind of starts coming together, and especially the top layer of this slope I've shown you in previous videos, and there are kind of these like miniature garden areas that I really love and enjoy. But since a lot of the plants that I grow on this slope are annuals or tender plants like dahlias and cannas, there isn't a lot to look at yet. I know it's going to come, but still, I kind of want to go there to my bench and look at something nice as well. Not only the beautiful sunset, also to have some plants that kind of attract me to go there. And this is exactly what I want to do today. I went on a mission. I went to multiple garden centers, the hardware store ones, the local ones, everywhere. And I have an abundance of great things. I really focus on my color scheme for the back of a garden. I have a mixture of lovely annuals, also some grasses, some perennials. Yes, just checking. Everything stands there already. What I want to do first, obviously, is give you a quick tour on how the situation is right now. And then I want to put all the plants there and show you how it looks and just share my thought process with you and why I think this is going to be really beautiful, especially like going into summer and then into autumn. So I hope you are excited about today's video. This is the rear end of the garden. This is a slope, and I built all these terraces last year. I'm very happy with that decision. And this is also, if I swing around to the right, so west facing, where the entire garden just opens up into the landscape. Look at those clouds. Isn't that beautiful? I'm really stunned by that. They sometimes seem to be so low hanging here. But yeah, it is beautiful. It might eventually clear up towards the end of the day, which will be wonderful because once I'm done with the video with my planting, I can sit on my bench and enjoy the result of today's planting. And this is exactly the area that I want to tackle today. So you see there is a bench, and on the top layer, things really start to look quite nice. I showed you this entire area in the back there with the pink roses, with the aqualegia, with the white iris, also with the petunias. But then, this is the area just around the bench where I really want to amp up my game a little bit. I do have a catinus here, which is about to come to bloom. That is really pretty. Then I have a rose here. That is Rose Aldenbeesen, if I say it right and remember it right. It's going to bloom in a pinkish tone, but very pale and more blush. It's very delicate in color. Then I have, what else is here? I've got snapdragons. Those are the red ones that I planted with you. They're still looking small, but a lot bigger to what they look when I put them into the ground. Then I get sweet potato vines. It's not hot enough for them yet, so they still need to grow. Then, if I just show you the other side, oh, I can show you something else. So here, remember I put like these beautiful purple petunias there, and one petunia has one pink bloom. What is that? I've never seen that before. That is quite funny because the other bloom that kind of fades away now, that was definitely purple. I'm not really sure what happens here. Kind of cute. And then on this side here, there is a bird's bath, which to be fair, there is pretty much like Alfie's cocktail bar. Next to it, there is a miscanthus. There is something purple. I forgot the variety name. It doesn't grow too tall though, which is nice. And then I went to the garden center the other day and found 5 more of the coleus, the red variety that I just planted with you in one of my previous videos. So I was like, okay, mine. And I think that they're going to look so nice here. The same rose is on this side as well. So this is again Aldenbeesen. And then I also want to focus a little bit on this area here. So just where one phlox is, which I forgot to transplant, I might do it today though. There I do have some cannas and I see first shoots appearing. And then here I've got some geranium. This is a variety called Roseanne. I just parked them there, to be honest, and I think that I will transplant them. I really need to see. It's not a good time to transplant perennials now when they're so big, but I kind of feel I'm still going to do it though. There is one catman there as well, a napeta. I'm going to give you some information why it is there, because actually I didn't really plant it there. That just was a lucky coincidence what happened there. Well, I told you a lot of annuals and tender plants are in here. So there are some cosmos that came to flower already. So already took the first flowers off. They grow, you know, they will look nice in a while. Then I have some dahlias there, still fairly small because the temperatures are just not hot enough yet. And then I have a big patch of brown where I'm going to put some ricinus. So I'm still building this area, but all of this is still bound to happen. So I'm really excited to really amp up my game in this entire area here. So the first thing I'm going to do is take all my plants, place them in position, and then give you a tour on what I have. All right, so all of the plants are in position now. I'm really happy with the result. There's one thing I'm not 100% sure, so when I walk you through, I'm still going to make up my mind if this is going to stay there, yes or no. So let's see. What I already did quickly before I just put the plants there is I transplanted the geraniums. I'm going to show you where they are. They look a little sad right now because obviously it's quite a shock for the system to transplant any kind of perennial that is about to come to bloom at this time of the year. But you know what? I did just the same with some Veronica that were growing underneath a walnut tree 2 days ago and they look fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep on watering them in, and the forecast for the next day is a little like so-so. It's like overcast with a little bit of sun, so I know that they won't be basking in the sun. So this is bound to work. What I want to do now first is give you a quick tour about the plants that I bought, and I'm so excited about all of them. I think this is really going to work so nice, especially this layer just underneath the bench. So this is where I'm going to walk with you first. So let's try not to shake too much because I'm just walking down here. There is a witch hazel that I planted with you earlier on in the year, and that looks extremely nice. It starts to branch out with a lot of new shoots. So clearly that is very happy here. And then I don't think that I'm really going to master landscape fabric this year. I'm not delusional. This might maybe happen later on in the year, maybe in autumn, one of those autumn projects when you can't do a lot of planting anymore. But what I want to do first here is a drift of wonderful grasses. This is Pennisetum vertigo. Now comes a big surprise for everybody who watches from the United States. Proven winners. Finally, we have proven winner plants also in Europe. Not the big range that you get in the US yet, I suppose, but this is one that pretty much every single garden center plus every single hardware store had available here suddenly, and they look just fantastic. I'm really excited about those. They're going to grow about 60 to 70 centimeters. I mean, here I'm not going to get so much heat, so obviously they won't grow to such a vast height as they might in a warmer climate, but still, I think they're going to do their job. They're going to be so beautiful. They have this really wonderful dark foliage, which I think is a wonderful accent in combination with the red and purple bloom that are focused here on the back of a slope. They won't be hardy though, so this is one of those things that you buy, they make you happy for a season, and then next year, let's see, maybe I'm going to buy them again, maybe I'll try something different. Next thing, I saw them in the garden center and I couldn't resist. I grew red cosmos from seed. Half of them didn't make it through the hardening off process, unfortunately. Half of them are just behind that lovely new curtain of purple there. But I think that they're going to work extremely well here. There is a label, so I can show you the name. They are called Cosmos Casanova Red, and they are really red. I'm so happy that they are not pinkish or magenta, because I feel that they'd be just a wonderful addition here. It also shows on the label how tall they will grow. Hope you see it, maybe not. 60 to, I think it says 90 centimeters, yes. So a good height, which is wonderful. So they're really gonna just float above the corner here. There still is this one pink Aquilegia that kind of just self-set last year. It's beautiful, but once it's done flowering, I'm just gonna remove it. And what I will do probably, because I really loved an Aquilegia there, down here, there was just a random mix of things. I'm just gonna take all of the blue ones out and put all of the blue Aquilegia where the pink one is now, because I think the next year this will be a much nicer look. Here, I already showed you, I put some Nepeta here just on the top layer, and then it kind of just like cascades down. And the reason for it is that last year, I don't really know what happened. I think suddenly I just cut Nepeta or something. I had a branch that just snapped, and I was like, oh, what to do with that? And I knew that Nepeta is one of those plants that takes root extremely well from cutting. So I just took the cutting, just bung it in the ground, kind of forgot about it. And this year, this is what came out of one single branch. Clearly a success story, and I saw it and I was like, this is so nice. It's just such a wonderful look here, and also in combination with the petunias up there. So I was like, you know what, I just want to have a little nice drift of Nepeta here. So I bought 3 more. This is a variety called Walker Slow, and I think that they will be just wonderful because they keep on flowering for ages here. So let's just go on the top layer now, and then I show you what goes up there. Looking at it, there was one more thing that I saw in the garden center, and I was like, no, don't buy it now. Otherwise, if you don't need it, there was red hat pennisetum. And now I could buy it myself somewhere because I so could have needed it. I think like 2 red hat pennisetum here would have been so lovely, just like to soften the edge of the path, and then also in front of the little basket. So I think this is something I'm still gonna do. But what I did is I purchased some money on 5 wonderful salvia. They will be annuals here as well. They were quite pricey. Like considering for Polish prices, I was like, ooh, they are not cheap, but they flower for ages. If you keep on deadheading them, they will flower from now all the way into September, maybe even later, really depending on the weather, how sunny it is, and I think that they're just a wonderful color. They're really like glowing purple, and in combination with the red and with the grasses and the sweet potato vine in the back, I think they'd be beautiful. There is a label. They are called Deep Ocean. Never heard that variety ever before, but I think gotta be beautiful. Obviously, it's bee friendly, it even says bee friendly. Most salvias are, I mean, that is kind of like a given with those. Also like Nepeta is an amazing plant for bees, by the way, if you want to attract wildlife into your garden. So I feel they will make me extremely happy. The next thing, I'm not sure if I will plant it here, yes or no. These are tiny tobacco plants, and I saw them in the garden center the other day, and I was like, oh, they are kind of nice. And they were also nice because they were super cheap. Like one plant was 5 zloty 50, I think, which is like €1.25 or something. So I was like, oh my, for such a plant, not a lot of money. That is so nice. They've rooted in well, they flower already nice. They are in my color concept. Now seeing them here, I'm a little like, I'm not sure if this is too much. I'm not sure if there's going to be too much color in total, because I'm still going to have the snapdragons there. And then with the salvia and with a rose, I'm kind of like, maybe they go somewhere else. Maybe I want to have like a red hat pennisetum here as well, even though that I'm going to have like the pennisetum vertico just down there. But maybe it will be nice to have a little bit of a grass border. Or really, I'm just going to buy 2 more of the vertigos and put them here. Maybe that will be the answer to my questions. Okay, the tobacco, I will replace it. They will go somewhere else. That I just answered my question, just talking about it, but they will definitely go in here. Like here, I think it's going to be so nice in a little basket. And you know what? They're in a basket, so if I don't like them, I can easily move them somewhere else. But now they just do exactly the color scheme that I want to have moving into summer and late autumn for this garden, or for this back part of the garden, where I focus on all shades of like red and purple, and then obviously with the coleus down here, I think this will be really beautiful. And the next thing, I feel this is just beautiful. This is Hacanicloa grass. And first, I want to show you here, up here. I planted them last year. In autumn, when it's not a good time to plant any kind of grasses, they had a beautiful autumnal color, kind of like burnt caramel, orangey tones, and they all came back after winter. They grow in full sun, they look fantastic. There are a couple more at the other end as well. And I thought, you know what, it'd be not just nice to have a repetition. And I thought, since I'm going to keep Alfie's little bar here, this is going to be so lovely and soft around the edges if the Hackney clover grass is going to grow there. And then I have the miscanthus grass there, which is going to grow a little taller. And then in autumn, you know, I can already see it in front of me, like the beautiful coleus when it really reached its height. And then I'm going to have all of the other tones of red and purple in the back there. And then the Hackney clover grass is also going to come with a wonderful autumnal color. I feel this is just a very magical, whimsical little area and so beautiful. What I want to do though is put definitely one Panacetum redhead just here, because I think this is also going to be needed just to soften the entire edge again. And then something needs to happen obviously here on the top layer as well. Just try to mask the landscape fabric. Maybe just like, I feel I do something just up here before I really do something from the outside. Just when you sit here, that at least it kind of starts to look nice. But I feel honestly, these additions would be wonderful. Just the grasses. I mean, come on, they'd be so beautiful when they pick up some growth and I can sit here and I'm surrounded by all this beautiful planting. So excited. So what I'm going to do now is start the planting. I'm not going to explain to you how I will plant all of these in detail because I've done already a couple of videos, and this video is more about like a before and after kind of video, like to show you the impact and how it looks, because yeah, I think there will be definitely a wonderful, nice impact by the end of today's video. So when I plant the grasses or any kind of annuals, perennials, what I always do is I plant them dead level, and I always put a good handful of organic bone chips in there, just dig it all under so that they are encouraged to develop a good root system, all the plants, especially the perennials. Annuals that don't develop a big root system because they really use a lot of the energy for the top growth to produce a lot of flowers and seeds eventually. So speaking of seeds, when it comes to cosmos and to most of these annuals that I put here, I need to remind myself to definitely deadhead them, because only then they will keep on flowering for ages. But this is something that I don't need to be concerned about now because they're just starting to bloom so beautiful. So what I will do now is work my way through and put all of these into the ground. I wish I had the redhead Panacetum, but you know what? This is going to be another day, another little project here, probably with some other random things that I'm going to put here on the slope. And at least now I exactly know how many redhead Panacetums I still need to buy. Everything is planted, and as predicted in the weather forecast, the sun came out in the late afternoon, so you might see my back. It's pretty much clear blue skies by now, with the wind traveling from west, but it is a nice warm wind, so it's a perfect time of the day to just spend the rest of the day now on the slope. We are already in the early evening, I think early to real evening by now. So I think what I'm going to do is just give you one last tour, obviously, because I'm so happy with the result, and I hope that you like it as much as I do. When the sun is out, the colors always look a little harsh, but you know what? That is what it is now. I'm not going to complain because it is beautiful, and I also think it looks beautiful. What I did, by the way, is I came in and cut the pink Aquilegia back because once the Panacetum Vertigo were in and the red Cosmos, that one pink Aquilegia was really bothering me because it made zero sense and it was really not color coordinated. I'm going to give you a closer look at it now. That Aquilegia, by the way, is in the vase now, so I thought it can still do its goodness in the vase. So let's start here. There's a rose that I showed you before, and here are the salvia plants. I think I forgot to tell you before how tall they will grow. So they will grow up to 50 centimeters in height, which is nice because they will grow more than double to what they are right now, I suppose, which is really wonderful. Also then in the combination with the red snapdragons. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to put 2 more Panacetum Vertigo here, so I really need to buy them. Because I think then I have this idea of having one plant on this terrace and then it just like spills down onto the next one. So it is this organic flow from terrace to terrace, and I think that this is going to be really beautiful. Those grasses, they really soften the edges already. Once they kick in with more growth, I think they'll be so beautiful, especially in combination with the Cosmos. Just the perfect red variety, ruby red, glowing in the sun. This is something that I absolutely love. And also this little corner here on the top makes me extremely happy. This is the nice thing about the evening sun now, because the colors, they really have this like ruby red glowing that I always just try to advertise to you. When you buy any kind of red or purple blooms or deep rich color blooms, try and make sure that the sun comes from the back, because that really makes the colors glow. So here I have the tobacco plants in the little basket. Next to it there are my 5 coleus, and then there is a wonderful drift of the Nepeta plants, and again the same idea of having one here on this terrace and then it kind of just like cascades down onto the next one. And now looking at it, I think I might need some more of those Nepeta plants just there on the next terrace as well to make it look more cohesive. But this is so simple, but it makes me so happy. Just a bird bath framed with these beautiful Hakame grasses. And since we have so much wind here, I mean, I'm on top of a dike. This is just beautiful. I mean, just imagine when they grow in taller and bigger, and then you have this wind gently waving in there. Isn't that just a wonderful sight? And if I continue walking, I just want to show you where I put the last of the tobacco plants. So you might see already a wonderful drift of red appearing here. This is where they went. Unfortunately, kind of normal for me here, they came without any information, so no label whatsoever. I can't tell you what variety they are. I don't even know how tall they will grow. So it's a little bit of a gamble now, but I thought, you know what, even if they stay on the smaller side here, they'd be just beautiful. I still hope that they will grow a little bit more. But look at that color, isn't that just beautiful? And tobacco plants, quite often they have sticky leaves, so do these here, and quite often they are attracting aphids, but I don't really deal with so many aphids here, so I hope I can just get around with that situation. So again, beautiful combination with the petunias here, and at one point I'm going to have the wonderful dahlias. I just put teeny tiny verbascum plants here. None of verbascum, verbena bonariensis. They were so small that I thought, you know what, I just do it without a video, but I just want to show you this side as well, because I think this is really beautiful now. Just with the wonderful texture of the Nepeta, and then just the basket weave container on the corner there. I think it's really beautiful when the rose starts to come to bloom. And now imagine all these cosmos being like almost 1 meter in height, with the beautiful Panacetum in the back there, and then my bench. I think this is so beautiful. Now I'm standing here. There's one last thing I promised to show you. This is where the geraniums went, by the way. So the geraniums, they kind of, I come with my finger now, they basically went here. So there is one delphinium. This is the only one that never gets eaten by slugs and snails in my garden. This is a white one. Behind it, there is a drift of peonies. This is Sarah Bernard, if I'm right. And then I thought, you know what, as a nice underplanting, to have the geranium there in a purple will be really nice. So what I'm going to do is water them in a second time today, and I hope that they will be happy. And I'll be very happy on my bench now. It is a couple of days later, and well, it is a couple of days later because somebody was a little too lazy to edit the video. Yeah, that was me. But in a way, it is good that I was too lazy, because I have a little bit of an update of the area. for one more last look because I was just looking at it and the entire landscape fabric situation was really bugging me. So I did some investigation of like, okay, is there a cheap way on how I can do something there, at least something, and I think I found a good way. I started, so don't expect too much now, but at least it is a starting point and I think it looks nice and it goes exactly into the direction where I was hoping for it. So hope you're excited to get this little bonus now. Isn't that just beautiful? I mean, please tell me that you like it as well, because I'm really in love with this. It was something that I found in the garden centre, so I cut these into half. So obviously these are fencing sections and they were super cheap. So one of those is 12 euros. And I cut them in half and I still have a little bit of a panel left that I might use maybe on the top layer. I need to see what to do with that. I'm going to show you in a second what I still have left. So one was 12 euros. And then I was like, okay, this is a good bargain, I suppose. So I stained them black, which took quite a lot of time out of me, but I think it was well worth it. So here I just needed basically two, and then I still have, I can show you this midsection that came out of it. So this is what I still have left. So I'm keeping those and see what I can do with that. I just wanted to see it here as well because I thought, okay, once this is mantled, I think also all the cosmos colors are going to look really nice. I put wood on top of it here. The connection does not look great. I know that myself, so maybe I need to do something here, but you know what, so I did all of this on my own and alone, so nobody could lend me a hand. So I was like, you know what, so far so good. I'm really happy with that, and I'm happy with something else I can show you now as well. So sometimes it's good to wait a little while. Remember I did a video where I was hand pollinating iris, and where is it? Here. I also pollinated these really dark ones, and this looks good. Seed pods start to swell, so there is a good indicator the pollination was successful. Yay, I'm really happy about that. So yeah, that was a little bit of a bonus for this video. It's going to be a very long video, but I think this is a good starting point to finally start mantling all the ugly black landscape fabric. Alright, so now it is officially the end of today's video with a nice backdrop. Doesn't that look already a lot better? I'm so happy with that. So it is going to be a little time consuming, but I think it's going to be worth it. And I mean, I have no time pressure, you know, I could just do it whenever I feel like it and just work my way through bit by bit, and I'm going to be so happy. Are you intrigued to see how I did it though? That was the one thing where I was like, is it worth making a video out of it? So if you're interested in it, just throw a comment down below this video here, because then I could just show you how I did it, because I really put those things in properly with concrete and the entire shebang. I was very proud of myself. So just say what you think about it. I think I got to say bye to you now. Have a wonderful day, guys. Again, thank you so much for watching today's video. Take care.